Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. Hair flipping on these hoes. Hi.
Know who Rob was, so I asked him, well, who's Rob? And he was like, R. Kelly. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything of it at the time because I know I'm 17 years old. So I'm just thinking, okay, well, maybe he just wants to say hey, or, I didn't know what it was. So I get on the golf cart with him. We go over to where he's at, and he immediately starts asking me questions.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy Sean Davey Way. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe and tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today I bring you a video on Lisa Van Allen. Everyone that knows Sean Davey Way knows how I feel about Lisa Van Allen. She is a crook, she is a swindler, and she is also a predator. And all of those things need to be acknowledged. Once again, I don't understand how everybody wants Robert Kelly to be held accountable for the things he did, but the enablers get immunity and a slap on the wrist. It is not fair. Lisa Van Allen is a criminal. She preyed on young women no different than R. Kelly. She needs to be in a women's prison where R. Kelly is. I don't like that they keep giving immunity to people that do not deserve it. Lisa Van Allen has been lying since she met R. Kelly. She tried to set him up. She tried to become rich off of the situation, and she didn't care how many young girls she helped hurt in the process. Lisa Van Allen has just been placed on the stand as of last week, and we're gonna get into what she said on the stand, and we're also gonna break down why she needs to be in prison. Lisa Van Allen, excuse my language, is a smut from the 90s. That is all she is. Her claim to fame is lying about being with a man who she knew was sick, who she knew needed assistance, especially when it came to his unhealthy relationship with young women. She knew that. And how I know Lisa Van Allen knew it is because when she first met R. Kelly, she lied and told him that she was 17. Lisa, if you felt that R. Kelly wasn't doing anything illegal or anything of that nature, and you said that when you were introduced to him, before you were introduced to him, I should say, you didn't know who he was. Lisa, if you didn't know who he was, then why would you lie and say you're 17 instead of 18? You wanted to be more appealing to him because you heard about certain things, which makes you a crook. You are a criminal. You knew that that man was sick, and in order to get in his good graces, let me make myself younger than what I am. If I look and act as if I am a minor, that will make him want me even more. You felt that if you told Robert that you were 18 years old, that he would not be attracted to you. How sick. You are a sick individual that should be ashamed of yourself. And I hope that your kid hears all of these things and find out how disgusting of an individual you are, because then maybe you will actually change, because you haven't. Ever since you met R. Kelly, you have been lying and trying to get as much money out of this situation and off this situation as possible, from selling books, from going on Surviving R. Kelly and lying to the entire world, going on Vlad and lying to the entire world, and then getting on the stand and all of a sudden you want to tell the truth. You're a disgrace. And Allen met Kelly at a music video shoot in Atlanta when she was 18 years old, and soon after moved to Chicago. In 1998, Kelly invited a girl he allegedly identified as a 16-year-old neighbor to join him and Van Allen for an encounter that he recorded on videotape. Van Allen filmed 2 more. Lisa Van Allen was 18 years old when she met R. Kelly during the video shoot for the song Home Alone in 1998. After the video, R. Kelly offered her, Lisa Van Allen, to come to be with him and live with him in Chicago. Lisa accepted the offer and moved to Chicago as an 18-year-old. And during that time, allegedly, R. Kelly brought over this young lady whom he stated was his neighbor. Not only did he state that she was his neighbor, he stated that she was 16 years old when she was actually 14. This person was Jane, aka Warshona Landfair. Van Allen is making it seem as if, oh no, he just told me that this girl was 16, I was 18, so it wasn't a big deal. You know, at least I didn't think it was a big deal at that time. Lisa, it was a big deal. Even with you being 18 and her being 16, it is still illegal. And on top of that, he told you, allegedly, that Warshona Jane was his neighbor. Why would you feel like it's okay for this 16-year-old girl, allegedly 16, that lives next door is over here sleeping with R. Kelly? That's not weird to you? That's not a red flag? Like, why are you sleeping with your neighbor's 16-year-old daughter? And you're how old, Robert? Like, I definitely would have side-eyed that immediately. Let's get into the cross-examination done by Mr. Brinley. Now, so people don't get confused, Q stands for question, A stands for answer. So when there's a question here, it's going to be Mr. Brinley questioning Lisa Van Allen, who is going to give the answer. Mr. Brinley questions Lisa Van Allen. When you're being 18 years old and not a minor at the time, what you were, as it turns out, was a grown adult person that was engaging, according to you, in SCX with a 14-year-old, right? I thought she was 16. Okay, which is still a minor, but I didn't think she was 14. I'm going to pick up on I was going to get there anyway. You thought she was 16, so was it okay? I never said it was okay. I'm just stating the truth, which is what I know. You were 18 years old. You were an adult. You were having SCX with what you thought will give you the benefit of that. You thought was a 16-year-old, right? 16-year-old. And you know that's a crime, right? I mean, that was not something we were thinking of at the time. I know I wasn't. You weren't thinking about it? So as we mentioned earlier, clearly Lisa was 18 years old and she knew, like, how do you not know your own age? She knew that she was 18 years old and she still knew that the young lady, Jane, aka Warshona, was not of age. So even if you thought she was 16, it's still illegal. It didn't make it okay. But that's Lisa Van Allen trying to remove the blame from her and try to push it onto R. Kelly like she wasn't an 18-year-old consenting adult. You knew in your mind that this young lady was too young to be doing anything with. And you still did it anyway, which makes you a predator. No. At the time, so I have friends that are certainly after 16 when I was 18. Certainly after the law enforcement started talking to you about this case, you started talking about getting immunity. You knew then that it was a crime, right? Yes, but I was actually testifying before I even knew that I needed immunity. In 2008, when you gave your testimony before the jury then, they gave you immunity too, state and federal, right? Yes. So you did know. Not right away. They told me. They pulled me to the side. So right before you testified, they pulled you to the side and said, hey, we're going to give you immunity? Are you kidding me? It was a hearing, yes. All right, Miss Van Allen. Well, at the beginning of our discussion this afternoon, I asked you, when people lie repeatedly, does that mean that's someone's word you can't trust? And you said it. Sidestep. So here goes Lisa Van Allen, the liar, again lying. So they're questioning her here about her immunity. You don't get immunity if you have not broke the law, okay? So if you watch something happen or was a part of something, but there's someone else that is literally committing the crime, you're an accessory to it, you'll get immunity so that you don't get charged too, because as an accessory to a crime, that means that you are now a criminal. You broke the law and there's charges that can be brought up against you. So with the first trial, she got immunity back in 2008. Once again, you only get immunity when you've done something wrong. If you've done nothing wrong, there's no reason to give you immunity, okay? So with this trial, and they give her immunity again, then that means, once again, you broke the law. We are trying to get the bigger fish, you're the smaller fish, so we'll give you immunity as long as you help us take the big fish down, which is R. Kelly. She's trying to make it seem as if they gave her immunity out of protection. They pulled me to the side, basically, before I went to court and let me know that I was going to get immunity. I didn't have to worry about any charges being brought up against me, federal or state, because I am helping both federal and state take down the person that they are trying to take down. But it doesn't mean that Lisa Van Allen is not guilty of crimes. She absolutely is. And it's being excused so that she can help them take down the crime boss. But it doesn't mean she has not done illegal things herself, which would have been having SCX with a 14-year-old girl. Knowingly having SCX with a 14-year-old. Lisa has been lying from jump, even still now. Let's get back into the transcripts. Yes. So let's come to this. You gave a bit of testimony this morning that I made a note of because Mr. Julian asked you when you met Mr. Kelly. Did you tell him how old you were? And you said yes. I did. I told him I was 17 years old. Do you remember saying that? Yes. And you said you met Mr. Kelly at the Home Alone video shoot, right? Yes. You're sure of that? Yes. Okay. And when your birthday is June 11th, 1980, right? Yes. Okay. So when you told Mr. Kelly that you were 17 years old, I mean, you obviously knew your age, right? I mean, of course I know my age, but I just had turned 18. Are you? Now that's what I'm trying to. Are you suggesting that when you met Mr. Kelly at this video shoot, you forgot your actual age? Really? No, I'm not suggesting that. Okay. Well, here's the deal. You know now that the video shoot for Home Alone, the song, was shot in August. The end of August? I'm sorry. What? Mr. Brindley. Was it September? Counsel confirmed. Mr. Brindley. I take it back. By Mr. Brindley. You know now that it's September of 1998 when that video was shot. You know it now, don't you? Of course it was 1998. Yes. No. It was September 1998. Right? I don't know when. I know it was August or September. Yes. August or September. Your birthday was in June of 1998, right? Correct. So in June, you turned 18, right? Yes. So by August or September, you certainly, when you met Mr. Kelly, you certainly hadn't forgotten and believed that you were really 17, did you? No. So when you said this morning that you told Mr. Kelly you were 17 years old, was that statement false? When I thought back to the video shoot, it was cold. And I assumed that because it was cold, it was fall. I mean, it was winter or spring. Yeah. Okay. You told the prosecutor this morning that you told Mr. Kelly you were 17 years old. Are you? Yes. Saying now you told him that you were 18 years old? I didn't say that. Okay. So did you tell him that you were 17 years old? Yes. At the time, you were actually 18 years old. Yes. Side note, before I get into my quick breakdown of this, let's listen to Lisa Van Allen herself state on Vlad that she was only 17 years old when she met R. Kelly.
Know who Rob was, so I asked him, well, who's Rob? And he was like, R. Kelly. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think anything of it at the time because I know I'm 17 years old. So I'm just thinking, okay, well, maybe he just wants to say hey, or, I didn't know what it was. So I get on the golf cart with him. We go over to where he's at, and he immediately starts asking me questions.
Now that you heard it with your own ears that Lisa Van Allen lied about her age and told R. Kelly that she was 17 in September of 1998, knowing that she had turned 18 in June of 1998. It was a full-fledged lie. She deliberately lied to R. Kelly and told him that she was 17 years old to be more appealing to him. She did that on purpose. She tried to set him up. That is not okay. She is, once again, a criminal. She needs to be put in jail. It is not fair. She was sitting there telling not only R. Kelly, but other people that she was only 17 years old, knowing that a 18-year-old legal consenting adult, but knew that that was not enough to get his attention, although she stated that she didn't even know who he was. Oh, somebody told me that Robert wanted to talk to me. I didn't know who Robert was, so when they took me over to him in the golf cart, girl, please. So why did you say that you were 17 if you didn't know what he was, who he was, I should say, and what he was? And why I say what he was, because clearly R. Kelly was someone that needed to register for the crimes that he had committed. So you said you were 17 to be more appealing to him because 18, you didn't think that that would fly. How disgusting. So if she's been lying from jump, how can you believe anything she's saying? Lisa lied and said she was 17 to look like a victim when she has never been that. You are not a victim, Lisa Van Allen. You said you were 17 because you knew that as an 18-year-old that you were having sex with a 14-year-old with your boyfriend. So just because Lisa Van Allen does not go out here and pursue younger women, it does not mean that if she got with a man like R. Kelly that wanted her to pursue a young woman that she would not do it. Lock her up. But let's keep going. Okay, now, it's not just Mr. Kelly who you said you were 17 years old to. When you testified before the grand jury in this case, you told the grand jury that you met Robert Kelly when you were just 17 years old, right? Yes, based off of what I could remember. Okay, and obviously at the time you met Mr. Kelly, from what I understand, it was very memorable, right? Not the time of year, no. Okay, but the occasion when you met him, you know it was the video, right? Yes, but I didn't know the time of year. He gave me a sweater. I thought it was cold. Okay, I'm not asking whether you thought it was cold or not. You're saying we're going to get to another point on this subject that's helpful to you, or maybe to me. But ultimately, Mr. Julian, object to this commentary. Mr. Brindley, I'll withdraw that. That was improper by Mr. Brindley. Miss Van Allen, you told the grand jury in this case you met him when you were 17, right? Yes or no? Yes. Another sidestep. So this is more reason to why Lisa Van Allen needs to be in jail. She literally, in front of a grand jury, perjured herself. Why are you perjuring yourself with immunity? That makes no sense. She is a liar, an evil liar is what Lisa Van Allen is. I want her in prison so bad. I'm going to start a petition, and I feel that, I don't know, I just feel like something needs to be done. I need action behind this because this is disgusting. It doesn't make sense that R. Kelly has to pay for what he's done, but the people that did it with him do not know. Everybody is guilty. Everybody needs to go to jail. They keep giving Lisa immunity to lie. She is now lying again, even within this case. She just keeps perjuring herself, and there is no statute of limitation on perjury. So she needs to go to jail. You lied to that grand jury and the world and told them that you were 17 years old. You're still trying to cop to it, but you can't because they have substantial evidence that shows that you were 18. You were not underage, but you were pushing that narrative because you know that what you did was illegal. You did not want to get persecuted by the public, nor did you want that to happen in court. So instead of coming there and telling the truth, you lied because you are a thief and low-key predator yourself. I think what's important to pay attention to in this part of Lisa being on the stand is that we get that she lied, but it's why and how she lied. Lisa made it seem with these interviews that she's did with Dr. Oz, The Breakfast Club, Vlad, The Real, and others, that R. Kelly was sick. And as his girlfriend, his 17-year-old girlfriend, because she stated on all of those platforms that she was 17, that she was trying to help him. I felt like he needed help and I wanted to help him change. That is a lie. Lisa, you met R. Kelly as an 18-year-old and told him that you were 17. So the rumors about Aaliyah and other things let you know that he liked younger women. You also stated that you didn't even know who he was. You knew exactly who R. Kelly was. Girl, you're weird and just crazy and a criminal. And you just need to be in jail. You never wanted to help him. You wanted to use him. You wanted to steal from him. If Lisa was trying to do the right thing, then why did she extort R. Kelly? Why did she get money for those tapes instead of just taking that duffel bag to the police department and letting them know what happened? Then if she got immunity, I would understand. Another thing to pay attention to, Lisa Van Allen knew exactly how old Roshona was. She knew that Roshona/Jane was underage when she was doing the sexual things that she was doing with her. She needs to stop trying to make it seem like she did not know. Yes, you did. Lisa going on that stand and saying that she thought that the girl was 16 because that's what R. Kelly told her. You knew that she was underage because R. Kelly told you that she was underage. And not only that, you admitted that you thought that she was underage. 16 is still underage. So you knowingly did things with this girl knowing that she was 16, not truly knowing that she was 2 years younger than that. But what would that have mattered, Lisa, if you were already willing to get down with a 16-year-old? That makes, again, no sense. I love you all. I hope you all enjoyed this video. We will be back with part 2 to finish breaking this down. Lisa, this is far from over. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that this woman goes to prison. I don't know how, but we're going to figure it out. We are. I love you all, and until the next video, bye.